One of the wackier designs for a kaiju I've seen, but it's also like one of my favorites, so I'm gonna go over that with you. So let's go through the breakdown of it, and then we're gonna go into the more organic version of the character of Gigan, really from Godzilla. So real quick, we're gonna break down a couple of things. Gigan, really, his head is pretty much like a bird's beak, but if you're thinking about the head in general, it kind of has like a goose's head shape. That's kind of the way I think about his head. Think about like a goose's head shape without the beak, and then you're going to go over here and actually add a beak on, and he has a very parrot-like beak, pretty much like a parrot's beak. It's gonna be the upper and the lower, right? Making him look very bird-like, which is probably what he was inspired by. He has one eyeball right here. It's kind of like a sonic eye or something like that. It's one big eye, except the angle's up like a visor. And then he has a hook above his head, like I said, very, very bird-like, and a couple of hooks going down his the back there. And then he has more spikes. This is a character with a lot of facial accessories around the corner, and then one in the back right there coming around the side. It's almost too much, really. But that's how I would, shorthand that character right here. Beak, two talons on the side right here coming out the mouth, on the back over there you can't see it, on the side, and then big on the top there. So that's a very quick abbreviation. Like, this is my notes, would take like these quick notes on what's going to happen. And let's go over here to the more pronounced organic version of this. All right, gonna start where I always start, right here at the eye. Right, for him it's a visor. It looks like a visor, very, very similar. And there's a couple of deceptively difficult things about this character. I would say because, I mean, granted, he's a kaiju, right, from the Godzilla stuff, but a lot of his stuff feels robotic because I believe his story is that he's a robot, I believe. It's got a little bit of a dot thing right there above the eye sometimes, or a triangle. It could be a triangle or a dot. Curve over here to the back. He's got so many simple shapes on him, it's hard to keep track of them, and you want to be careful, especially with his spike. I thought the spike, I'm gonna stylize it a little bit. I'm not gonna make it like that big. I'm gonna make it more hook-like on the front. There have been people that have done that before. I think in kind of one of the remakes, he comes out again. Not remakes. One of the newer Godzilla movies, they change his design up, a more different hook. But I'm gonna take that approach right there. So he's gonna feel not as organic, but I am gonna add a little bit more of an organic flair as we kind of move along here. I'm just getting his facial accessories going on here. It's a little bit of skin right there. Over here. Pulling up. And then curve around the corner there. And it's going to pull up over here. Line right there for the back of his mouth. But his mouth is going to be blocked by those two side talons that we're talking about. When I'm drawing anything in general, look, when we're drawing, one of the biggest things we want to do is we actually want to start just setting in our basic lines, and then we feel safe after that. So as soon as I get all these features in, right, I'm going to feel safe to just render, right? As soon as I get these features in, right, the hooks are on the side. Like I said, he's literally all, it's almost like you add a, what do you call, like a custom build your own character, and you went like too crazy with it. That's kind of what he reminds me of. Similar to the last video of Destroya. Go check that video out if you haven't. But that video, very similar. A character with way too many like features, way too many distinct features. They just threw them all in one. But it works, like I said. I really like this design a lot. I would probably tone it down. I'd probably take these away if I was to redesign him. I would take away the side talons. I think that's a little much. Side teeth, side tusks, whatever you call them. Back over here. Right on. Almost there. Right here going to the neck. Line, line, line. Line up over here. Down. We're going to find these hooks in the back. And I would say, as you're doing this, you always kind of recheck, right? You're kind of thinking like, okay, what else can I do, right? What else can I do to make this a little bit appropriate? Oh, dang, it's late. I didn't know it was this late at night. I'm kind of recording this late at night. Forgive me. Also, give me more kaijus to draw or more anything to draw. I'd love to hear what else you want to see. We could draw the other one, even though we're kind of cheating it, peeking around the corner here. Peeking around, it would be kind of cheating it right there, see? So we have his basic framework in, right? We have the basic line art. So it's really up to us right now to make it look a little bit organic. Forgive me, he's got sharp teeth. I forgot about that. Way too many accessories. It's funny. There you go. Alright, on. So considering, like I said, he looks like a parrot, we're thinking, okay, organicness can come out through the neck, along this area. Man, there's so many different kaijus from different properties. Give me some. Give me, really. I don't want to start drawing many kaijus, and I'm going to go into more dinosaurs as well. I mean, that's kind of the fun part about all of this stuff, right? Is being able to draw the stuff that you want. I don't think he has teeth up. He might. Let me see. There you go. There we go. Putting a little bit of some darks here. We need it. Being careful though, because it's going right next to my teeth and making them disappear a little bit. So I have to be very, very careful with that. Because the brush pen is kind of unpredictable sometimes. It's a little bit odd in certain ways. There we go. There we go. Line over here. See, now, like I said, it's all going to be shading, rendering, and I'm thinking, okay, how do we make this guy step out of the cartoony look, because he still looks cartoony, and a little bit more into the illustration world. And that's kind of the test of doing that sort of thing. Make him look more like an illustration, less like Bugs Bunny cartoon. Which is the challenge of any comic artist I've seen drawing him as well. When some comic artists draw him, it's like, dang, it's really hard to make him look serious sometimes, in my opinion. Just because of the whole his look, the beak. I think something about the beak naturally looks goofy on him. But we are living in a you know, this is the kaiju universe is inherently goofy, right? There's inherently goofy stuff about it, but I think that's why I love it. I love that kaiju world. I'm playing a kaiju video game right now. I forgot the name of it, but I'll talk about it on here on the next one. But maybe I'll draw some stuff from that. Not really sure yet. But yeah, I thought that was a great game. Let me see this. Right on. Over here. continuing to kind of go down there. There we go. Going over here for kind of the reflective surface. And I'm just kind of zigzagging it right here. Zigzagging it right there. There we go. There we go. Cool. Right on. I'm using a little bit of cross-hatching right here to kind of, you know, make certain things stand out. I want to throw a little bit more darkness on the tongue right there. I think that needs to recede back a bit. The inside of his mouth here stands out too much. There you go. There we go. And a lot of this stuff is you're picking your points, right? You're picking a point to accentuate, right? You're thinking, where am I going to focus on? And again, that's tough with Gigan. Like I said, Gigan is such a an odd design that, you know, the folding of like usually the ways to make stuff look more organic is through the folding of the skin, right? And since he's got so much like beak and stuff like that, it's a little bit harder to kind of find those areas on him. There we go. There we go. There we go. Kind of putting a few more lines over here just to kind of find some value, but I'm trying to spread out the lines over here so they're not totally dark. I don't want them to be pitch black. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about as we're doing this. Okie doke. And now we're looking at him again. A lot of it's going to be like nicks. I'm putting like nicks and scratches on him. And I would normally not put that on him, but his beak is so smooth, right, that it's impossible to get. Like again, need that flexion, that crunchy skin that makes them look organic. So I think I'm gonna make it look more damaged, right? Maybe like a crack over here to kind of give it a little bit more character, I think. And that's probably the most important part of your drawing, is giving it some of that character and making it feel a little bit more like your own, right? It is good to kind of do. I mean, it's, to be honest, it's anything you draw you want to make your own and throw in a little bit of custom stuff in it. So there you go, right here. And that's pretty much it, honestly. That's about as much as I can do on Gigan here. I want to thank you very much. You're amazing. If you like these videos, by the way, do me a huge favor and share the video. And go check out the library. There's a lot of free downloads. And on the official website, there's a lot of cool stuff as well. So I'll see you later. Talk to you soon, all right? Okay, so that was amazing. You finished this lesson, but keep it going. Keep the art practice going by clicking this video right here. It's going to be within the same theme, and you want to keep it rolling to get better and better and better and get that art flow going. So click right here.